most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree?
Hi there guys, welcome into another video. In this video we are going to be demonstrating the brand new TRDR crypto screener, absolute weapon of a feature from the guys at TRDR. They've been working on this for a while, put a lot of effort into this, and it was introduced to us last week. Okay, we're going to be going through this and having a look at my setup that I have been refining, and I am still refining. I think that might be a constant process, but we're going to start with a setup from scratch as well and show you all the features. Okay, so if you are unfamiliar with this console, go and grab a link from below for a free trial, and let me just introduce you to the normal view and how we get to the screener from there. Okay, so here we are on the main feature page of the trdr.io website. Okay, view that you guys are normally used to. Okay, if you just go to console, so this is the view we're normally used to, isn't it? Okay, if you are unfamiliar with the console, go and check out my series of demonstration videos on the various templates and stuff. Okay, where do we go to the screener then? Okay, just up here. If you've got the arrow at the top, it's just there as well. Okay, so let's keep that live at the minute so we can just all see it. Okay, so here's our screener. Okay, at the minute, as you get a fresh layout, it's probably going to be pretty basic. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to quickly show you my layout. This works the same as your other layouts that you've been working with in your templates. Okay, so you get your template ready in your trading view window, don't you? Okay, and then you save your layout. Your layout incorporates all the widgets, okay, your widgets, the order book depth and all of that business in your normal layout. Okay, the screener is very, very similar. Okay, but obviously what you're going to be presented with is these various tables. Okay, so if I just show you mine for the minute. Okay, so similar sort of thing. You've got your layout button here. Okay, for the screeners, add layout, duplicate, rename, all the stuff. Okay, so this is mine at the minute. Okay, that I've been working on. Very, very, still pretty simple. I think I am refining this down. Okay, so I've got perps over here, spot over here. I've just called it V1, V2. Okay, on one panel, yes, of course, I'm looking at OBD ratios, the all-important OBD ratios that give us the bid-ask and the imbalance of structure within the price action. Perhaps I'm looking at open interest, funding rate as well. Okay, we will go through all of this. And then I've got spot open as well. Okay, general price, again, OBD ratios there and a volume delta. And then just at the bottom here, I might incorporate these two together. Okay, but I've got an OBD total between 0 and 10% there as well for various reasons. Long short ratio, liquidations, volume delta again there. And then for spot market as well. Okay, I'm just looking at the bids and the ask between 0 and 10%. And again, you know, you refine this down. Maybe you add some of these columns to here. Maybe you don't need this fourth column here. Okay, and then OBD totals again, 0 to 10% there. But what we're going to do right now, we're going to start with what would be your basic template and layout, so we can just show everybody and go through together what it is to create that 4-panel layout or a 2-panel layout, however much you want. You can actually create, depending on what price plan you are on, you can create up to 20. Okay, so you could have 20 tables with various assets in from various exchanges, perpetuals, futures, spot market and the like. Okay, so let's begin. Table 1, very, very basic, isn't it? Okay, what have I actually got open here? I think I've got all assets open on all exchanges, all market types, all quote assets and everything. Okay, what you'll see from the very top is you've got this tab to the left hand side. Okay, you've just got a little arrow button here. I love this feature that the guys have put in. Okay, so you can absolutely maximize that if you're a bit of a crypto trading degen and you've just got this on one of your monitors to a side to keep an eye on. Okay, it looks very, very slick like that, doesn't it? Okay, so you've got this column at the side. This is what you call your main selection. Important when we come to add more tables into this view here. Okay, so this is your main selection, what we got here. Okay, so we've got refresh rate, obviously nice to have that as a 15-second if you can. Okay, again, I think the price plan might just change on what you get there. Follow watch list. Okay, so at the minute mine Gucci bags, don't ask me why. It's got all of my watch list in there, but I can go to all assets. Okay, and what I'm presented with here is the symbol, the price, OBD ratio, OBD totals, and volume 24 hours. Okay, here As we go down, I'm looking at all assets. We'll start on all assets, shall we? Okay, main selection. Okay, base is here. Okay, so you've got all your different networks in here, all your different chains and everything. Okay, might not be so relevant at the minute for some of these, obviously, but you know, the guys have put this in here because come couple of years, it obviously will be. You don't want to just keep adding stuff in. Okay, exchange as it is. Okay, Binance, CoinM, all the exchanges in here, so you can tick, untick these as you like, and it will hand this down for you. Okay, market type, futures, perpetuals, and spot. Okay, quote assets. Okay, again, maybe not so relevant at the minute, you know, euro, Japanese yen, but the guys have added these in. I think it's just the best idea, to be honest. True USD, USD dollar, USDC. Okay, you need all of these in. Okay, maybe they become more relevant in the future, but for a kickoff, that's what we've got. There's our table. We've got all of that there. Okay, so what we do is just if you were unticking these as well, any of the options, you have just got the all or none button there. All right, guys. At the very bottom here, add new row or add view. This is where we are going to get our tables from. Okay, so if you add new row, it's just going to do that exactly. All right. If you add it again, it's just going to add one next to it like that. And then the way you get rid of those is like that. What I would suggest is get your first table open however you want it. Okay, so maybe you want perpetuals and spot in one. Okay, we could set up right now a very easy spot and perpetuals ratio view. Okay, maybe you just want one view or something. All right, so we can set that up. What we've got right here in the top is we'll set this first column up, then we're going to add another one. Okay, and then we'll maybe add a third and a fourth and refine from there. Okay, so main selection all set. Yeah, there we go. Okay, if you just go to the table here where your tabs are, okay, you can obviously search in there as well. USDT, if you just want to look at USDT and you haven't unclicked any of the quote assets there, okay, you can then just obviously search BTC and get your BTC options up and the like. Okay, but I think once you refine this down, you're maybe not going to need to refine and search as much in there, especially if you've got a couple of tables open. Okay, features at the top here, you obviously got your X button just to remove that view. Okay, selection, this is important. Okay, so you remember I said the main view here at the side here, here's your main override main selection. Okay, so this is for when if you've got everything right in here for this table that you see in front of you. Okay, say you add another table, which we will do, maybe you want to override the settings you've had in here. Okay, so the two tables will then be different. Okay, let's just go through some of these quickly, and you see you've got all the same options there as well. All right, guys, so next one is what we actually add to these columns. Okay, so this is your main table, the all-encompassing main table, and then what we've got is, okay, your columns here. Okay, what do we want to see in the columns? Okay, so you can go to market. As you can see, prices ticked, brilliant, prices there. What else have we got in? If I just go down it, actually, you've got the bid and asks there, non-cumulative or cumulative, so aggregated or not. Okay, asks there, totals, but for us, you know, we always love the ratio, don't we? It gives us a real true imbalance and gives us our edge in the market. Okay, so ratios again, non-cumulative, cumulative, OBDs, they're 0 to 1, 1 to 2.5, and so forth. And then if you get cumulative, it's a good idea. This is a way to see it, is you just get a little bit of a wider margin. Okay, so 0 to 5, 0 to 10, 0 to 2.5, and I think that is the right way to do it. Okay, other columns we can add in, brilliant, for the perpetuals, open interest, funding rate, long shorts, liquidations. Okay, or you can just add them all in. Volume 24 hour, you lot all love a bit of delta nowadays, don't you? Volume delta 24 hour, volume ratios. Okay, and a brilliant one that I think is absolutely brilliant that the guys have added is trade count. Okay, why is that important? Okay, look, we won't delve too much detail into that now, but it's going to show activity in the market, isn't it? So imagine you get trade count with your open interest and funding as well on the perpetuals markets especially. It's showing that you're going to maybe potentially get a lot of activity or lack of activity in that asset. So really, really brilliant new one from them, from the guys there. Okay, and then just in the last one here, okay, this is where you want to rename. So this one currently just called table. Okay, and then what I think is an absolutely brilliant idea, and where you're going to really start to pick some edge up as you refine these tables down, is you can actually create a new watch list. Okay, so say you've refined your table right down and you're so happy with it. You've got OBD ratios flashing and telling you that something's really bid at the same time that, for instance, your open interest is low, and maybe you've got negative funding, and maybe you've got that on a bunch of assets, you know, a basket of assets. Well, if you want to follow those assets in your other views as well, in your main, you know, your main console view, you can actually create a new watch list from that now. Okay, so from this table, create new watch list, and that will just go into your saved watch list. So yeah, really good feature there. Okay, so here we go. So let's start off with this one then. So I'm going to start on my main selection here, and then what I'm going to do is edit the other tables that I create in here from this. So let's first of all start with a mega easy selection. Okay, so I'm gonna go on the big boys. Okay, I'm gonna have a look on this first table. I'm gonna make a spot. Okay, I'm gonna make a spot table. I'm gonna deselect all these. Okay, I'm gonna deselect all these, and why I'm doing this here instead of up here right now is because I want to show you what when I had a second table, I want to show you what that looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna look at Binance Spot. Okay, you can then go to quote if you wanted to for the asset. I mean, generally, I think a majority of Binance is done in USDT. Okay, I know there's a couple of other quote assets in there as well. But yeah, and then we are just going to look at spot. Done. Yeah. So what we can then do is go to our columns. So we've got full spot markets. Okay, if you're not familiar, sorry, I will just show you. And you put USDM in. Okay, they do have the little blue. Let me go to quote again. Should I say quote? Market type. Let me go to perpetuals. Okay, perpetuals and futures have a different little tag next to them, the blue one there. Okay, so that's how you know. All right, so let's start with spot. Like I say, spot market. What do we want to say? Okay, well, we could say we want to look at price. That's fine. Maybe not. It is important, obviously. Price is the all-encompassing. It is very important. But if you did want to get rid of that, I think you could do in some instances when you're refining it down. Okay, but let's get rid of all of this. Let's get rid of all of these, and we'll start fresh. Okay, so I've got a spot table with the obviously the exchange and the price only. Okay, what do I want to add in? Okay, for me personally, to keep this one very clean and simple, I want to add in, okay, if you're familiar with the console as it is, I want to add in an OBD ratio of 2.5 to 5 and 1 to 2.5, okay? So I'm going to add those in. There we go, okay? Then what you can do is you can filter these columns, okay? So very quickly, if I want to know what assets are bid, and I'm currently on all assets, don't forget. If I want to know what assets are fully bid, I can just click this tab, and there you go, okay? What you are going to find is that, you know, you don't just go to uni, which is at the top with a 73.55 OBD ratio bid, okay, and then say, yes, okay, I'm gonna bid this myself, you know, on futures, or I'm gonna buy some spot because everybody else is okay. You've got to then refine it down. You've got to then go to your console, which you can do by clicking this button. I will show you that in a second, but if you click there, it will launch the console for you and show you that market, okay? But what you can actually do, once you've got these columns here, we'll do this right now, is you can filter these columns, okay? So what you could do is say, okay, market is, say the market's trending up, yeah? I want to see everything that is bid, and we know that a 60 ratio and over, for instance, is good bid. Okay, I want to filter this column greater than 60, okay? And there you go. So that's just filtered out a lot of chaff straight away. OBD ratio 1 to 2.5% greater than 60, okay? And that's filtered it right down from all assets to these, okay? So currently, right here, right now, these are your assets in the spot market, filtered down with a good spot bid, okay? Let's just edit that again. Let's just reset that. Same thing if you wanted to look for 2.5 to 5%. So you could filter both of these, okay? You could filter both of these. Maybe you go a bit less, Okay, maybe you go, let's have a look. Maybe you go filter greater than. It's the same as how you do your latest. Maybe we go 45. Okay, let's go 45, brings up a few assets. But then say I want to go, okay, but I want strong depth. Okay, so yes, 1 to 2.5 is bid, but can I filter this down with all this noise and, you know, everything else that's going on in here? Can I filter this down now even more to a double, what we'd call a double band ratio? Double band comes from the overlays on your main chart that you're all used to seeing. Yeah, so can I filter this down even more? So now I want to put say 45 in there again. Okay, that filters it down even more. Okay, so Arkham on spot, there you go, 48, 45. Okay, let's see what that looks like now on the console. Okay, so it launches the console, you're looking at Arkham, 49, 42. It's actually dropping a bit now. It did have a big pump earlier, so I expect this giga nuke, but there you go. So okay, so it shows you those ratios. Okay, so let me close that down, back to here. Let me just reset that. Okay, let's reset that. Let's reset that. Okay, so, you know, but if you didn't want to filter it, you know, you can click on these and see. Okay, so again, negative ratios. Okay, so in supply zones, again, that's why you want to filter and fan this down. MTL metal, it probably always looks like that. Okay, so if needed, get your watch list open and then see what is actually in spot supply. Okay, or see what is in spot demand there. Okay, so 2 ratios there. Okay, for spot market, I think it's very, very important. Can we add anything else in here? Okay, maybe we want to add maybe not so much in, you know, sentiment on a spot market. Okay, you could, yeah, I mean, if you had perpetuals in here as well, you maybe want to add sentiment. But I think for the spot market, I like to keep it very, very simple, to be honest. And I like to have, you know, it's all important, isn't it? Is the asset bid, or is it in supply? Is it in supply, or is it in demand? Okay, so I like to keep this simple. The only thing I do like to put in here is volume, actually, and I do like a volume delta 24 hours. But if you were just to keep it very, very simple, okay, let's just have a volume in here, okay? And what you could see is, you know, basically, if you just put it here, obviously, we know who's going to be top. Big boy BTC, ETH, SOL, XRP, BNB, Doge. Nice to see Doge is still doing good volume, okay? But maybe you filter this, okay, again, greater than or less than. If you're an altcoin trader, maybe you can filter this, especially with a delta. But what I always like to say is it's good to trade with the volume, okay? That's why US session is good trading. That's why the Asian session is good trading. You'll have heard me say before that more often than not, the European session is not good trading. So you want to trade by trading with the volume. BTC is great to trade. ETH's great to trade. We all know that. SOL's great to trade as well. They all have great order books. You know, over the last few weeks, I've been sticking to trading the majors, to be honest. But maybe you get some kind of anomaly in one of the alts, where one of the alts is piling in a load of volume. You know, maybe that altcoin has not quite moved yet, but 24-hour volumes ramping up. You're familiar with your assets here. You know, maybe you know that SUSDT is, or you know, DOT or something is usually kind of middle of the road, doing 27.4 million volume. But hang on a minute, it's really, really big and it's doing massive volume, and actually it's just at the bottom of a range. Right, okay, we need to take a look at that. Okay, that is something, you know, very, very important. All right, so that is that for spot, really. And what I'll do at the minute is I won't add too much else in here, to be honest. Again, you could add something. Yeah, you could add your trade count in here, you know, along with volume. That would give you a pretty good idea. Let's add that in, okay? So again, with volume, that could give you a pretty good idea of, you know, along with the volume, is the market active? We know BTC, ETH and SOL are active, okay? Look at the volume, look at the trade count here, absolutely brilliant. But as I say, maybe one kind of outlier starts to do good volume, it's really, really big, and its tick count is massively up, okay? So something's going on. It's you know, there's some activity going on that coin, okay, on the spot market. Maybe then you go and look at perpetuals. What's happening in the perpetuals? Is open interest ramping up? Is long shorts ramping up? Okay, what's the funding? Okay, if you're looking for a bid, is the negative funding in the perpetuals market? Okay, so let's add a perpetuals market in now. Okay, so I'm going to add a new row at the minute. I'll add that down here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull it up here. You can do that as well, all right? Okay, so table 1 is our spot. Okay, so I'm going to call this, test spot. Okay, so that's renamed. Oh, I didn't rename it, did I? Test spot, call it, didn't I? Let's call it that. If I can, and hit rename. Okay, hit rename. That's the thing with layouts as well. When you're saving a layout, just make sure it's all saved. And then this one is not even edited yet. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it, it will auto save. I'm going to call it test perps. Yeah, rename. Remember to hit that. All right, straight off on the bat. Okay, this one is pretty much from our main selection here. Okay, the settings. Yeah, what I want to do is I want to go, okay, I'm going to override because I don't want it to be the same as this. Straight away, I'm going to say, okay, what I want is perps in here. Maybe you have CoinM as well, but just for the sake of it, we're going to say, we're going to look at perpetuals, and then I need to refine this down a little bit more as well. Market type, oops, there we go, exchange one, yeah, market type, and then we're just going to look at perpetuals. Okay, I'm still on my watch list there, so it's not bringing up too much. Quote asset, I'll leave that as it is, but you know that most of them, it's going to be USDT, isn't it? Okay, so, and then that should auto save. If I go to all assets, it's going to bring everything up there. Okay, let me just check that is on override main, and then what I'll do is I'll just hit override main on that one as well in case I do change anything. Right, so there we go. So there's our perpetuals market. Okay, so I've got a pretty similar layout here. It's just added in the OBD ratio 0 to 10, same as when we first started. I'm gonna get rid of this. If I can click it, I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that. Yeah. Volume 24 hours. I might put a delta in there for perpetuals actually. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add some bits in. Yeah. So first of all, I think I still want a ratio in here, and I still think I want a 1 to 2.5. Okay, I'm just going to go with that one at the minute. Okay, why is that one all important? It's the, we often find that that is the ratio when it gets strong enough bid or ask, that is the ratio that can move the market. Okay, this ratio here is what a lot of the alert systems are based on. Okay, so your BTC Diamond Alert and a few of the others are based on the 1 to 2.5. Okay, so for perpetuals, I'm going to add that in. Same thing again, you can click this and say, right, what's got the best bid or ask? Okay, now one stipulation here is why we're going to refine it down is that more often than not in the derivatives perpetual markets, okay, on crypto, more often than not everyone's constantly bullish even when prices are absolutely nuking. Okay, so to see ratios like this, we know that a 40 ratio or 30 or 40 ratio is pretty good on perpetuals in this market. To see engine with a 74, I can tell you right now, I bet that is constantly looks like that. So let's open it up. Yeah, it's a messy chart. There's no edge in that chart whatsoever. It's constantly bid. Okay, so you would want to get rid of that if you can. Okay, maybe you refine this down and again create new watch list or add new watch list. Okay, so what I think next we will do is we can filter this. Okay, greater than, let's go greater than if we're looking for bids, and we'll just say 40. Okay, and from all assets, that's already refined it down, and you can see there's a lot of memes in here, and to be honest, I don't know if this constant bid depth on these coins is probably either the exchange or the market maker putting up some liquidity to hold price afloat, because no one's trading the asset, so they're just trying to keep the price up. Okay, what we'll do is let's add in some other stuff. Okay, so you can obviously, you've got bids as totals here if you wanted them. Okay, let's add in some sentiment, shall we? Okay, so I think for perpetuals it's always handy to have a look at open interest. Okay, how many players are in the market, who's breathing life into the market or out of the market, as long as you're checking open interest with volume, obviously. And then yeah, let's have a look at, so you can add in a 1 day, 7 day or 30 day, but I'm just going to click in general. Okay, so I'm going to add in open interest and I'm going to add in funding. Yeah, so there we go, nice and easy. Yeah, so what you could almost say is when you start to refine this down is what coin is really bid, what's the open interest like? And well, I guess you have to be familiar with what that coin's open interest generally, we just had a bit of a kick in open interest there, what that coin's open interest generally looks like, okay? So we can typically say when open interest is nuked, it's easier to float price up. So if you've got a real negative, let me just switch this filter off for a second. Let me reset that. So if you've got a really negative open interest, let's have a look. What can I see? Yeah, I mean, some of these coins are going to be low because there's just not many people trading them, to be honest. But if you've got a real negative open interest, once you've filtered this down to the coins you like to trade, you might see that, again, low open interest, the coin's quite big, and as a treat, is there some negative funding, okay? Funding is not always going to be part and parcel of why you would enter or exit a trade. But, you know, if you get those coins that have had a really, really good run, maybe the open interest is at absolute extremes, okay? Maybe you're on some positive funding in absolute extreme open interest, and your OBD ratio is flashing supply zones as well, yeah? Then you could have a look at volume and everything else. Then you go to the console. Okay, let's have a look. Have I got some top levels there? Maybe I'll add it to my alert system, and then I'll watch it maybe for a short trade, okay? And then the opposite as well to the bid side, okay? So we can really, really refine this down all you want. I don't like to add too many in, and that's why I kind of, you know, on my screen here, I've got a 27-inch, I've got three 27-inch Samsungs here, okay? So I don't like to add too many in. You will get your more columns, obviously, if you minimize that, yeah? But just for the minute, let's have it as this. So there we go, open interest, funding rate, what is bid or ask, okay? And at the minute, there's not particularly much selling as I can see going on in the derivatives market for some reason. You would think everyone at the current, the way the current price action has been, it's just currently the beginning of March. If you, March 2025, if you're watching this back in the future, Bitcoin has been nuking since Donald Trump came into office and when he launched his own meme coin. All right, so you would think people are running for the markets, but not so much at the minute. Anyway, maybe everyone's run out of money. So I'm going to keep this as this for now, and let's go through some more options. Of course, I could just keep adding stuff here, but I think this is very, very clean, okay? So I've got spot. Oops, let me get rid of that. I think I've got, there we go. I've got spot here. Yep, so I've got my, oh, why is that there? So I've got my spot, I've got my spot markets. I've got my spot markets here. I didn't save it, did I? That's why. This is why you need to, I think it auto saves after a while. There we go. Okay, so I've got my spot markets here. Let me just do that again. As you can see, Huobi, no thank you very much. There we go. So I've got my spot markets in here. Very, very simple. Price, volume, what kind of volume is it doing over 24 hours? So you know if you keep this at the top, BTC, ETH, XRP, BNB, some of these coins. I don't know why Sol's gone out of there actually. That's a bit odd, isn't it? You know, these are doing the bigger volumes, and as I say, if you get another asset ramping up in volume as it's really, really big, take a look at it. Then we've got some OBD ratios on the perps market here with our open interest and funding rate, okay? But let's add a fourth column and see if we can add anything else in. I'm going to add another 2, okay? So I'm going to add another 2 and I'm going to drop them. I'm going to drop them down here if I can. Let me just, right, yeah. So moving that about, let me, yeah, it takes a bit of moving to get it underneath. Add new row, add view. Okay, so add new row, add view. And as I say, you can just keep adding these. Okay, let me just scroll that down so I can show you. And there you go, okay? You can just keep adding them, and then you can have them next to each other as well. Let me show you that. 2 seconds, bear with me. If you just simply just add view, okay, you could just keep going. Yeah, there you go. And then the next one, it'll just add one down. Let me just get rid of those. And then what we'll do is, we'll refine these 2 columns yet again. Okay, so we've got our spot and perps at the top. What I'm going to do is, that one is not renamed. I don't know why. Override. It's because I've moved it. That's fine. Override main selection. Let me rename that. What did I call it? Test perps. So you can see. I'm glad I made the odd little mistake for you anyway, because you can see where they can be made. So yeah, test. I did it again. Test perps. There you go. Rename. There you go. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this one, before I edit it, I'm going to call it test perps v2. Rename. Okay. Override main selection, and I'm going to bring in perps to here again. Here we go. So let's go through this together. I'm just going to get rid of all of these, and maybe, you know, you have a table where you add in all of these. Maybe you want KuCoin futures, maybe you're an OKX trader and you want those in. Okay, quote, yeah, that's fine. Base, market type, yep, okay. And we're looking at perpetuals again, and I'm getting rid of these bits. Yeah, okay, I'm going to get rid. And volume 24 hours, I'm going to get rid. Right then, so we've got the market, obviously, and we have got price again. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to add in, okay, I want to have a look at bid and ask. Yeah, so I want to have a look at bids in the 1 to 2.5. Maybe you look at cumulative. Okay, let's have a look at cumulative then. 0 to 2.5. I'll go cumulative bids on the OBD 0 to 5. Okay. There we go. What else do I want for perpetuals market? Again, you want to be looking at your volumes, your open interest, your funding, your deltas and stuff, don't you? So what I'm going to add in here is a delta 24 hour. Okay, so I'm looking at what bids there are. I'm looking at a volume delta over 24 hours. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 columns up there. So I'm going to add another one. Okay. You could add totals as well. If you're adding in the totals, we know that the order books get nuked or not. What I'm going to add in here is liquidations. I think let's add in liquidations for here. I could maybe add in that tick rate as well, couldn't I? I could actually get rid of, you could even get rid of price, to be honest. Is it all important? You know, you're going to look at the chart anyway, aren't you? So actually let me add that in. I'm going to add in trade count. Okay, so I've got an actual OBD for bids. Again, I could add in ask here as well if I wanted to, but just for this demonstration. Okay, so I've got OBD here. Okay, so perps market, sol, OBD bids, you can see it's doing the big business there, under, near, and a few others. Okay, liquidations 24 hours. Again, you can filter this down. Okay, you can see what's had the biggest liquidations over the last 24 hours, and you lot all love delta nowadays. I do love delta as well, but there you go, delta. Okay, 24 hours. So you can see, there we go, what is doing the least and the most volume delta over the last 24 hours. You can see that obviously because the market dropped yesterday. Okay, the market dropped yesterday. Over the last 24 hours, volume delta on sol is down. Okay, that could be a potential good thing, that it's going to float back up. Okay, and then trade count as well in conduce with that. Okay, so sol 93.2 million, volume delta down, but actually it's still quite active. 39 million trade count. Okay, over 24 hours, very, very active. Let's see what else is least active. Yeah, meme coins, no doubt about it. Okay, yeah, sol, don't just ignore the BTC dump for it. Sol, ENS, actually, ENS getting some big trade counts there as well in the petrols market. Interesting. Okay, so we've got that there. We can filter that down. Okay, next, let's edit this again. So let's override main selection once again. And again, I just want to have a look at spot, but I'm going to have a look at something slightly different. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of these. I think you could actually click none and then just click on Binance, to be honest. Base, yeah, market type again, futures, perpetuals, no, I just want to have a look at spot, to be honest. Again, you could edit these down, but again, Binance spot is going to be mainly USDT, okay, and then these will become more relevant in the future. Let me rename that. Okay, test spot V2, okay, and rename. So we've got our 4-panel layout, okay, price, OBD, okay, let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. Okay, volume 24 hours, let me get rid of that as well. Okay, so up here I've got price volume for my spot charts. Again, you know, if you just wanted one big chart, you might want to add these in next to it. I kind of like refining and having this 4 layout chart at the minute. Okay, so what we'll do is we've got obviously exchange and price. What I want to add in here is actually totals, yeah, and I want to add in the totals cumulative. Okay, 0 to 10%, okay, for the spot market. I want to see in the order book depth totals what has been doing some of the biggest volume and what has been doing some of the least, okay? And it's going to be in conducive with this, okay? So BTC, ETH, BNB, XRP, okay, and some of the others for the spot market, okay? And you can just see Sol has been doing big business on perps. Everyone's trying to get a bid in on Sol as it drops, aren't they? Okay, but there you go. So OBD totals, okay? But then you could maybe add in, a volume delta to here as well. So you could add in a volume ratio or a volume delta, okay, to the spot market. So let's add in and see what we've been actually doing. So we know that the OBD totals is up on BTC and some of these larger coins, but the volume delta is actually down, okay, as we've sold off. So, you know, a lot of people coming out the market, especially in perpetuals, but spot market as well, okay. That means one or two things actually. Coming out the markets are selling, or actually what you could say is a lot of bidders being filled like it did yesterday, okay? So a lot of orders have been filled and are now out of the order book. So you can get a negative on here, okay, with a good depth of book, okay? Maybe the orders are filled, maybe the price has floated away from that demand zone, okay? So your delta will be down, okay? But yeah, you could leave it as simple as that, okay, on the spot order book, okay? This will now automatically save, okay? So this will automatically save as test, okay? Or if you just wanted to rename layout, you could just go to there and call it test, test 2, confirm, okay? And then you've got it, okay? It's saved. So slight changes here, but where I'll go, so let's have a look at the difference between mine. It'll be very, very similar. So that's Nick's spot and perps, okay? So again, I've got in there OBD ratio, open interest, funding rate, long shorts, okay? But down at the bottom, I've got OBD totals, 0 to 10%. I've got LS ratio there. Oh yeah, I don't want that one there. LS ratio, I don't want that there. Actually, let's get rid of that and confirm. Liquidations and volume delta, and then at the top I've got the all-important OBD ratio for spot, 1 to 2.5. But then I also want to check the depth of book on spot, and I've got OBD ratio 2.5 to 5%, and then a volume delta there. Okay. At the bottom, I'm just looking at OPD bids, okay, how much actual bid is in the market, and asks as well, okay. So this bottom panel, I just added asks, and then I've got totals there, okay. So we all know that in the totals, if you're familiar with the liquidity chart, if you've got some negative totals over what you used to, okay, then you know it's very easy to float price up if the totals are really, really high up, especially if you get it high up on perps as well. With that high up in interest, we know that the market can be getting a certain amount of froth in the market, okay. So yeah, layouts up there. Let's just go back to test very, very quick, okay, very, very quick. So that is pretty much it. I think this is going to be a case of refining this as you go and what you want to see. Don't forget to save it as you go, okay? So when you've got a table set, remember to rename it and hit rename, like you obviously saw me not do a little bit, okay? But you can have up to, if you're on an absolute mega alpha premium plan, you can have up to 20 of these tables, okay? So this is your main layout, okay? So all of this is your main layout. This is 1 table, 2 table, 3 table, 4 table, okay? And there you go. Rename your tables and then your layout. Okay, rename, save, yeah? Rename and save. Just make sure you do that, please. Yeah, and also another feature, if you're just zooming in here, hit the console. Let's have a quick look at what BTC is doing. BTC holding the weekly open. Currently, if you're watching this market trading video back, it is now the 11th of March 2025. Donald Trump has been dumping us down and BTC is struggling. Big bid there, okay? So yeah, let's have a look at the confluence here then. So USDT spot market 5 to 10%, 26 ratio, okay? And what you'll see is BTC, I haven't got it here, but I could actually add it in for you. Ratios 5 to 10%. Let's have a look, scroll across, 5 to 10%, drop down to 18 there. So it was just at 26, just drop back to 18. That's the confluence you will see between your widget and what you're seeing on the main console, okay? And then what you see in this screener, yeah? Refine it down, okay? So obviously I've got mine. I'm still refining this, okay, for what I want to see. I'm still cutting out a lot of the noise. There's like probably 99% or something of these actual coins, especially daft stuff like this peanut, that I just don't want in my list. I don't want to see it. You know, it's not worth trading. The order books are dead potentially. You know, refine it down, get familiar with it. Okay, have a look at what altcoins are providing the best data. That is what I would say. And at the minute, it does have to be said that the main edge in data is coming from some of the larger assets. You know, I've strayed away from trading some of the shit, to be honest, over recent weeks as we have been downtrending, okay, breaking market structure and downtrending. A lot of altcoin books can be dead. Okay, what do I mean by that? Just not a lot of people trading them. So the more people trading the assets, the better data we get. Yeah, so don't just jump into an altcoin and go, great, yeah, look at this, negative funding, okay, I'm going to short it. Okay, you then need to drop into your console and have a look at the overlays. Is it in, you know, is it in a demand zone with negative funding, or is it just negative funding? You know, no one's really trading it, it's had a little rise up, so on and so forth. All right, guys, so we'll call it a day there. Quick review again, okay? Main window is your layout. Main window is your layout. Make sure you save layouts the way you've been saving them before. 4 tables, main selection. When you add your tables, override main selection. There's your columns there, okay? And then just over here in the end tab of the table is where you save the table, okay? When you've refined your list down and you've found some absolute alpha edge, share it with me. All right, first and foremost, and the socials, in the TRDR socials, but you can create a new watch list as well, okay? You can create a new watch list, and I think this is now a better way of doing it. All right, but I hope that's helped everyone. One thing to say is this is a final iteration, okay? Let me just zoom right in. This is a final iteration of the screener, okay? And you guys can design this now with your tables however you want, yeah? What I would say is the guys at the TRDR team have probably got some, you know, some more iterations they want to apply, okay? Some refinement they've probably got coming, so look out for that. I think that will be coming, and it's part and parcel of anything new like this. But this is definitely, for me, I've looked at a few crypto screeners in the past. Nothing has got anything on this. We've got the absolute edge to strip down the market, cut the chaff, okay, and find more edge in the market. Hope that's helped everyone. We'll speak soon. Cheers.